I'm trying to defeat this big ol' Cubivore guy, and I have a list of YouTube folks that really inspired me. I don't really know why I made this list. I guess I'm trying to explain why the heck I made this Talking Squid video, Talking Squid channel, where I'm a talking squid and I talk about math or philosophy or whatever. Part of it is Brutal Moose. Brutal Moose. He's I think he was in the Normal Boots camaraderie for at least a while. Oh dear, I'm being eaten again. That's alright. I'm just gonna run away. As I usually do. I think there are more herbivores. But Brutal Moose has a YouTube channel where he posts video games about the games that he remembers from his childhood. He makes a lot of other different kinds of YouTube videos, but I think those are my favorite ones, where he talks about Pajama Sam and other stuff like that. I find it interesting that we have an adult society. We're adults. I'm supposedly an adult. But the things that we remember about childhood are important enough that people can talk about elements of them, and in a funny way, in an entertaining way. But even though it's entertaining, it's meaningful to them. And it's meaningful to me as well. I loved Pajama Sam when I was growing up. Oh, here we go. I've got my... Oh, I was actually fighting him without two limbs. I only had one limb because he ate one of my... Oh dear. Let's see. I'm gonna just block here. I'm gonna back up. Okay. You never know what you're gonna get. Here we go. So, Brutal Moose. Yeah, I like Brutal Moose. That's all I can really say. I really enjoy these YouTube channels. Corridor Crew. Corridor Crew. All these folks are computer graphics, visual effects artists. And they have a YouTube channel where they just sort of teach people about... Oh, I defeated the Boy Scout beast. You know, he's defeated, by the way. I think we're going to move on to Piggy Ted the Third soon enough. But the Corridor Crew teaches people about really interesting aspects of computer graphics that I personally could never explain to you because I don't have all the training that they've got. So the Corridor Crew will... I gotta go to bed anyway, you know. So the Corridor Crew will come up with some idea for something that they and their friends are all going to do together. And they'll have like a competition, or they'll just work together to accomplish some project. I'm chewing some meat. I don't really need. My hunger will diminish if I press the button called B. That's the block button. So the fact that the Corridor Crew can just sort of work together and have all of their friends work on something and explain what they're doing, or if they're competing, then maybe keeping it secret and just telling the cameras what they're doing. I find it inspiring. This is a list of things that inspire me. I am inspired by the Corridor Crew. Did You Know Gaming? Did You Know Gaming is a YouTube channel where they'll come out with here we go. Oh, this is an easy mutate, so I can, because he's red, I can easy mutate into him. Did You Know Gaming is a YouTube channel where every day, basically, they'll come out with another video where they talk about a particular video game or a certain genre, and they've clearly done some research into it. And usually the voice of the person talking is a different voice, sort of taken from around YouTube. So they'll have Aaron Hansen or Rubber Ross do the voice of an episode of Did You Know Gaming. I think it's a really interesting way to teach large groups of people, and teaching them in this manner, I think, is... I don't know if you could do it without YouTube. I think if you had this on cable television, I don't know if it would do as it does on YouTube. Having YouTube as this source, Drawfee. Drawfee is a really good YouTube channel. You should watch Drawfee. You should probably watch Drawfee instead of whatever I'm doing. To rise above this curly pigtail, I must whistle and walk down the trail toward raw life, looking for a wife. The consummate, the perfect female. So the consummate is a cubivore. It's a female cubivore about the size of a refrigerator. And she eats you, and then you become something else. I won't be big anymore. I'm gonna be Grizzly Ted. Let's see. Extra credits. Extra history. Those folks are not only inspirational because they're teaching about games, and they're using games as an excuse to teach about other stuff. And they just talk about history. Watch extra history. My gosh. So I'm gonna eat some more love bits. I should go down on this walkthrough just in case something's weird's gonna happen. I remember this particular part of the game was pretty complicated as a kid, but I'm sure I can handle it. Well, I don't wanna eat anything yet. Let me finish this list. I enjoy talking about the YouTube channels that have inspired me to do whatever the heck I think I'm doing. Extra credits. That's definitely an inspiration for the squid. I have a lot of inspirations for the squid. There's a lot of things that could have inspired me. Extra credits is one of those inspirations. Kurzgesagt. Oh, it's a love bug, by the way. You gotta get those love bits. So Kurzgesagt is a YouTube channel where animated birds, really, just talk about science, usually. Sometimes science or the philosophy of science. Watch Kurzgesagt. Just like Kurzgesagt, Down the Rabbit Hole. I'm afraid I don't remember. I think his name is Frederick. Gosh, I should look this up, but also I should eat this bug. Give those pigs more bugs. That's what I'm trying to say. Down the Rabbit Hole. If you look up Down the Rabbit Hole on YouTube, you'll find a lot of videos that I might recommend over what the heck I'm doing here. I shouldn't say that. I think I'm let me just keep going down the list. Okay. Of course, two of my patrons have YouTube channels. Thank you. Ritvic Math, The Shop Class are two great YouTube channels if you want to understand something in math or in crafting. Oh, hold on. What am I doing here? And then I back up using X. Okay. The Slow-Mo Guys. The Slow-Mo Guys, another YouTube channel that you should totally watch. That's Gavin and his friend Dan, I believe, who are associated with Rooster Teeth, another web organization you probably have heard of. What a game. Let's see. Vsauce. Vsauce is something I totally recommend. You know, a couple episodes ago, I just sort of popped right out of the... As a matter of fact, an episode ended, but I just sort of popped up from the desk. That's right out of Vsauce. Vine Sauce. There's Vine Vsauce, and then there's Vine Sauce. By the way, I got my tongue points, everybody. I grew a tongue. I've improved my eat and run skill. The walkthrough talks about the eat and run skill. I think I might need to seriously play with this game and figure out what I'm doing again, because it's familiar to me, but I think I might get there somewhere. Is there a bug over here? I think there's gonna be. Oh, there's a bug! Oh, yeah! What a game! What a game! Okay. So they're Vsauce, Vine Sauce. They're two pretty darn good organizations, but they're very different. Vsauce talks a lot about philosophy and math and science and all that, and Vsauce, I believe they actually played Cubivore. So maybe you can watch them play Cubivore, or maybe I should watch them play Cubivore. Who knows? Oh, geez. Oh, I was looking at my list, and these red bugs just started hurting me. You know, I'm done with the list. I'm done talking about that, and I think I should focus more on this game. But I'm glad that I could spend 3 episodes or so where I just sort of go down a list of YouTube channels that got me interested in making a YouTube channel. When I was a math major, I took a class in writing. I took a class, I really wanted to see what a college level writing class would get me. I was hoping for it to give me something that I didn't get in high school. In high school, your teachers will tell you stuff like, oh, this is a 5-paragraph essay. There's going to be an intro paragraph, there's going to be a conclusion paragraph, and then between those two, there's going to be 3 paragraphs that are just about the same, more or less the same. I was hoping this college class would give me something different, something more than that. The first thing we read in this college class was how to read like a writer. It begins with something which doesn't really have anything to do with what he's talking about. He's talking about how to read like a writer. And then he begins by talking about one time he worked at a theater. And then he transitions from the theater work to writing and reading like a writer. And the point of the article is that when you read something, you're supposed to consider why it's written the way it's written. When I read that article, I got the impression that maybe in this class in college, maybe I could use the same tool that this article used. This article uses this tool, this transition from one topic to another as a good way to lead people to what you're talking about. So we had to turn in a rough draft of an essay, and I did that. And we weren't allowed to do that. That's the I got. I was writing a 5-paragraph essay again. You had to start with the introduction, and then you have some paragraphs, conclusion. I was allowed to have slightly longer essays. It could be 6-paragraph essays or 7-paragraph essays, but it was exactly the same sort of essays that I'd been writing since. At the end of the quarter, you're allowed to leave anonymous notes about the class. And on my note, I said that I kind of felt like I was talked down to. Like, we were allowed to read really interesting things. Just like in high school, we read really interesting books, we read really interesting articles. We weren't allowed to write any of them. We weren't allowed to write anything like that. I think if I turned in a talking squid video to a high school class or like a college class, I think a talking squid video would get an F because it's not a paragraph essay. But I really like making these talking squid videos, and I feel like they're a decent way to convey strange information. And I'm gonna keep doing it, even if I get an F from an English teacher or whatever. But I do want to say that the reason I'm on this long, winding story is that when I think about the YouTube channels I've been talking about for the last couple episodes, in so much as they're episodes, I feel like I've started watching them like a YouTuber. So I'm not reading like a writer. I'm watching videos like a YouTuber. So I can watch an episode of she says. Have you seen she says? He says? She sells seashells. She says. I think he's done a really good job of seeing what YouTube expects and then catering to it. And I think I'm trying to do the same thing. So I wanna give an apology to that teacher because I don't think I appreciated the lesson that they were giving me. You know, you gotta understand the genre that you're looking at and use your understanding to see what they're doing, and then recreate what the artist is doing. It's like I'm approaching a YouTube channel like a generative adversarial network. Like I'm just making videos, and then I'm watching the videos, and if there's anything I don't like about them, I can fix it next time. That'll do. Yeah, it'll do. Oh, here we go into the mating ground. Oh, I have 5 female Cubivores after me, but I still like the dog. I still like the dog the most. So one reason I'm cutting this time into a couple episodes is because if I have sort of a schedule where I upload a video, I don't know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then at least that's it doesn't necessarily need to be a good schedule, but it's something. It's something to keep me busy, something to keep the YouTube channel operating. The walkthrough suggests something else, but I'm going to go on with this one. Cutting up today's session about 40 minutes or 45 minutes into 3 different episodes will give my I have a fang now. Will make my YouTube channel slightly more consistent. I can tear off 2 pieces of meat in one bite now. Just so you know. And save that progress. So I think I'm gonna leave it there. Oh, I should probably say Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific. That's when I do the live streaming. Oh. Poor Ted. Poor little Ted. That's Piggy Ted the Second, and now I'm Piggy Ted the Third. So, what a game. I think next episode I want to talk about Japanese new religions. I'm not going to talk too much about it right now, but I'm going to write some notes about it, and this game might be trying to introduce a new religion, even if it's not accepted as a religion. It's a game. It's a video game. But I'm going to put this down. Oh. Bye-bye.